right, let's dive into Frankenstein.
Oh,
Chapters 10 through 12 this time.
Yeah.
Victor's in the Alps. The creature makes his grand entrance.
Right.
And we finally hear his story.
Yeah,
It's like we're getting the other side of the coin now. Yeah.
It's a major shift, for sure.
So chapter 10 opens with Victor, and he's a wreck.
Understandably, right.
After everything with William,
Oh, yeah.
he decides to head into the mountains.
To the source of the Irvine River.
And the Mer de Glace Glacier.
That's right.
His descriptions of the scenery, wow.
So vivid.
Almost therapeutic,
Yeah.
Makes you wonder, is this genuine or is he just running away?
I think there's a bit of both there, don't you?
Yeah.
You have to remember, this is the Romantic era.
Right.
Nature was like spiritual renewal, you know, escape from society.
So Victor's trying to reconnect.
In a way, yeah.
Find some peace after all the chaos.
Exactly.
But even surrounded by this incredible beauty, he's still just eaten up by guilt.
Oh, absolutely.
There's a moment where he cries out to the wandering spirits of the mountains.
Oh, right.
It's like he's begging for peace.
Or even for release, you know?
Like a death wish, almost.
Yeah, it's really powerful.
What do you make of that?
I think it shows how conflicted he is. He wants forgiveness, but
there's this other side.
This darker side.
Like he knows something bad is coming.
Yeah, he's anticipating a reckoning.
And then, boom.
Oh, yeah.
He runs into the creature.
Right on that glacier.
Terrifying.
Oh, for sure.
Victor describes him, this towering figure.
Unearthly ugliness.
Yeah. But what gets me...
What's that?
The creature's response.
Right.
He doesn't attack. He doesn't yell.
No.
He pleads for understanding.
It's surprising, isn't it?
Totally unexpected.
You'd think he'd be full of rage.
You would. But he's so eloquent. Even vulnerable, in a way.
Definitely.
He even says he'll be...
what's that?
Mild and docile.
Oh.
Victor does his part.
Like he owes him something.
He says, hold on.
Okay.
Remember, thou hast made me more powerful than myself. My height is superior to thine, my joints more supple. But I will not be tempted to set myself in opposition to thee. I am thy creature, and I will be even mild and docile to my natural lord and king, if thou wilt also perform thy part, the which thou owest me.
Wow.
It's like he's appealing to Victor's sense of responsibility.
Absolutely.
As his creator.
Right.
So Victor, probably very reluctantly, agrees to hear him out.
And this is where it really gets interesting.
Oh, yeah.
The story within a story.
They end up in this desolate hut.
Yeah, fire crackling.
So much tension.
It just draws you right in.
As the creature starts to talk.
It's classic, right?
We hear about his first memories.
Yeah.
This sensory overload.
So much confusion.
Fear, but also moments of, wonder.
Like when he discovers birdsong?
Yeah. It's like watching a kid discover the world.
It really humanizes him, you know?
It does. You see, he's not just this monster.
Right.
He's capable of feeling all these things.
It makes you empathize.
Makes you think of what would I be like in his shoes?
Oh, that's a good question.
Would you be repulsed by him? Or could you see past that?
I think that's what Shelley wants us to ask us.
To confront our own prejudices.
Yeah, and think about what it means to be human.
When we left off, the creature was really grappling with, himself.
Yeah, his self-awareness.
And that desire to connect with the DeLacy family.
Right, but he's so afraid of rejection.
He continues watching them and...
He notices their struggles.
Their sadness.
It really gets to him, doesn't it?
It does, and it's interesting because...
Yeah.
For someone who barely understands human emotions...
Right.
He's really moved by their suffering.
It speaks to his empathy, don't you think?
Oh, for sure.
He's not just seeing what they do. He's starting to understand how they feel.
And that prompts him to act.
Right. He doesn't just watch anymore.
He starts helping them, secretly.
Gathering wood.
Clearing snow.
It challenges our whole idea of what a monster is.
It does. You think, is this genuine?
Is he being altruistic?
Or is there something else going on?
Like he's trying to earn their acceptance.
Maybe prove his worth, even to himself.
Possibly, yeah. He's been rejected by everyone.
By Victor, by the world.
So maybe this is his way of showing he's not a monster.
That he's capable of good.
Right, showing that good side.
And as he becomes more involved in their lives, even from afar, he discovers language.
The power of words.
Not just information, but...
feelings, emotions.
It opens up a whole new world for him.
But it also complicates things, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. Now he can express himself.
But he also realizes how different he is.
He is.
He even compares himself to
To?
the ant and the lapdog.
Oh.
Saying his attempts at communication might be clumsy.
You really feel for him.
You do. He just wants to be understood.
To connect.
And this all ties back to his self-awareness. Right, he's not just aware of others. He sees himself now, too.
He sees his reflection.
He's horrified.
By his deformity, as he calls it.
That moment changes everything.
It's a turning point.
He realizes it's not just how others see him,
but how he sees himself.
It makes you think about identity.
How much of it comes from outside.
From society's standards.
And how much is internal.
It's a struggle we all face.
We all have insecurities.
Things we don't like about ourselves.
Especially when they don't fit in.
Yeah, it's a very human thing.
But then spring arrives.
A change of season.
The creature feels,
What's that?
tranquil.
Oh, interesting.
It's like nature brings him a little peace.
A moment of hope.
But there's this urgency, too.
He knows he can't hide forever.
He has to bridge the gap somehow.
But how will he do it?
How will he approach the DeLacy family?
That's the big question, right?
The one that takes us into the most pivotal moments.
Which we'll get to in the final part of our deep dive.
So the creature, he's at this crossroads,
Oh, absolutely.
longing for connection.
Yeah.
But terrified of being rejected.
I mean, he's been watching this family, almost idolizing them.
Right, so the thought of them rejecting him.
It's just devastating.
He can't even imagine it.
So he comes up with a plan.
He's not just gonna,
barge in.
Yeah, risk being turned away immediately.
Right.
He decides on a more,
what?
subtle approach.
Oh, I see.
Hoping to win them over gradually.
With a 10.
And his eloquence.
He's banking on,
What's that?
inner qualities outweighing appearances.
Exactly. So he chooses
That's, I guess.
the old man, DeLacy.
Because he's blind?
Exactly. He's hoping DeLacy will judge him.
Based on his words.
Not what he looks like.
It's a brilliant strategy.
It is,
Yeah.
but it's risky, right?
Oh, a person.
Is he being naive?
Or does he truly believe?
That compassion can overcome prejudice.
It's the question at the heart of it all, isn't it?
So the moment of truth arrives.
Okay.
The family's away.
Mm-hmm.
The creature goes into the cottage.
He finds DeLacy.
Alone.
He just pours his heart out.
He shares his story.
Everything.
His loneliness, his longing.
And DeLacy.
What does he do?
He doesn't freak out.
No. He actually shows compassion.
He wants to understand.
Like this.
Glimmer of hope.
Yeah. Maybe. Just maybe.
The creature's plan will work.
But then
Oh.
Felix, Agatha, and Sophie come home.
Right, at the worst moment.
And their reaction.
Oh, it's instant horror.
Pure
They
fear.
don't even think.
All that compassion DeLacy showed.
Gone.
It's like a punch to the gut.
It really shows the power of prejudice.
It does. All the creature's careful planning.
His eloquence, his sincerity.
Godless.
Because of how he looks.
Felix attacks him.
Drives him out of the cottage.
All his hopes shattered.
Heartbreaking. Yeah.
We saw his good side, his desire to connect.
But this experience, it breaks him.
It really does.
Makes you wonder, what if they hadn't reacted that way?
Could they have helped him?
Or was he always destined for this?
It makes you think about our responsibility,
To those who are different.
and the impact of our actions.
Absolutely, this rejection.
It's a major turning point.
He's not that naive creature anymore.
No, he's full of anger now.
He wants revenge.
This sets the stage for everything that comes next.
The tragedy of the rest of the story.
It's been quite a ride, these chapters.
Oh, yeah.
We see the creature go through so much.
Self-discovery.
Hope, disappointment, despair.
It really makes you think about what it means to be human.
To want connection. To struggle with who you are.
And that question lingers.
Can someone who's been rejected ever truly find a place?
In a world that fears them.
It's a question we're still asking ourselves today.
Centuries after Mary Shelley wrote this.
It's a story that stays with you.
It makes you think.
About compassion, about fear, about our own responsibility.
Well said.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep dying deep.